Hey everyone, it's your boy Doc Williams, and today we're going to be talking about DeFi 2.0 for beginners. So what does this mean for your business, for your life, all of those things? We're going to be doing this right now in today's episode. So let's begin. Again, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We have a very special episode, and let us know where you're watching this from. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, if you're on DLive, wherever you're watching, make sure you're in the comment section down below or hashtag replay. Let us know what's going on with you. We have a very special guest star in the house today. We're going to be talking about everything with DeFi, all of those things. So first of all, Jason, we'd love to have you on the stage. Thank you so much for being with us today.
How's it going? Love the intro. That was great.
Thanks, man. Well, for the audience, as we're watching this, please tell everyone a little bit about yourself. And before we jump into DeFi, we'd love to know more about you.
Sure. So I'm Jason Hitchcock. Spent the last 10 years kind of doing early stage startup things. I was usually either like the first hire or like in the first 10 people at a startup, or I started it myself. Either building out sales teams, customer success teams, kind of like in the mobile ad tech landscape. I spent a few years at a company called Monkey Inferno with my friends Tyler Hayes, Sean Purry, who he has like a podcast like My First Million, which is pretty good. Furkan Raidan, who I think we're going to talk about his company later, Third Web. And we made a lot of apps, all sorts of consumer apps, one of which was a streaming app that Twitch acquired. And so then I worked at Twitch for about 2 years doing fandom strategy. I worked on their program, Twitch Rivals, which was interesting. But during this time, this was like basically the time that like Ethereum started to wake up again. And like I had some crypto and I decided to like go learn about how DeFi worked. And next thing you know, I'm degenning everywhere around all around DeFi land, and I'm playing with everything. I'm borrowing, I'm a liquidity provider. I'm compounding. I'm like staking on validators. I'm getting into tokens in Cosmos land. And, I'm just learning everything there is to learn. And I started to like replace my salary with yield. And then next thing you know, I liquidate all my assets and I just go all in on crypto 100%. And I'm just like, all right. I start figuring out a strategy for like how to manage my own money. And then all my friends asked me, could you manage our money too? And I was like, no, I'll teach you. I don't want to manage your money. That's crazy. And then they just kept on asking. And so then me and like a couple of my friends who I was like on this journey with, we were like, hey, are all your friends asking you to like do your like manage their money too in DeFi? And they were all like, yeah. So we were like, all right, let's create a fund. And so we created an SPV. It was an experiment. Like if we can we manage our friends' money? And then we did a really good job with it. We only launched it like 6 months ago. And like it's up like around 3x. And so our fund has recently been acquired. And so we're going to now be sub-advisors for a hedge fund. And we're launching a new thing in January. It's been like so that's what I do. And so now like I angel invest in like lots of, Web3 companies. I advise a lot of companies. I help like run our strategy for our fund. I'm actively managing our portfolio. And I like getting people excited about crypto. I feel like, this is a cool opportunity for this industry. Like right now it used to be like people that were really into cryptography and like libertarians were into crypto. And then maybe like in 2017, it was like people that were really into operating systems and like into, I don't know, really hardcore technology were into it. But today we're now at the application layer. And so the discourse around crypto is a lot more relatable. It's a lot more interesting. It's a lot more tangible. And I think it's really interesting. And I think we need more people. I like getting my peers in tech excited about crypto because like they should be thinking about working in it because it's like it's apps now. It's not just like token go up. Elon Musk talked about it. It's like, now there's an app here and like it works differently. And once you get that, like your brain, you'll never stop thinking about it. And so that's who I am.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you for that brief intro. And we're going to talk more about this. This is awesome. And by the way, you've been generous with your time talking to me about it. Now I'm like, okay, changed my life and what I invested in, start thinking about it, what I need to do. So this is great. Just a couple of quick shout outs for people on different things. First of all, Ruth, thank you so much for being here and talking in the chat. Thank you so much. It's great to see you. She also says, I'm going to be spending the Christmas holiday learning more about crypto. This is a perfect place to start. This is awesome.
Don't wait till Christmas.
This is good. This is good. By the way, in the chat, everyone, if you want to follow Jason, you need to be doing that on Twitter, all of those things. I just put in the chat. If you're watching on Twitter, I see a bunch of you. Thank you so much for doing that. We just dropped it in the chat as well. And then also DLive, make sure you're doing that. And on Twitch, thank you so much. Everyone's talking and everything like that. So, okay, let's get right into it. So before we go deeper, what we're going to do is first have an outline of what we're going to be talking about with DeFi today. If you're brand new to DeFi, all those things in the chat, just let us know what level you're at, what expertise, all of those things. Jason just asked me before we went on what's the level? What's going on? How much do you know about crypto and about DeFi? Let us know in the chat, right? So we're going to be talking about DeFi 2.0. We're going to be looking at this format a little bit as we go through this. And remember, if you have access to Docs, you get all of my notes, all of these things that will be in it. So this is one of them. So we're going to be looking at, first of all, Jason, if you're just explaining to someone right off the bat, how would you, if someone's never heard of DeFi or they're not understanding DeFi 2.0, what in the world is it?
Well, I'm assuming that what is DeFi? Like really DeFi it's a mirror image of our financial system as built in like with crypto apps. Crypto apps are very special kinds of decentralized apps are the types of apps that run on blockchain enabled, infrastructure like Ethereum. And so what's interesting, if in the traditional world, if you wanted to get a loan, you would go to a bank and say, hey, bank, I want a loan. And you'd apply for it. The bank would look at you and be like, okay, I think we can do this. They would then go to a bigger bank to go originate that loan. The bigger bank would do that. They would say, all right, here you go, bank. Here's some money for that loan. Pay this back every 30 days at this rate. The smaller bank says, here you go. Here's your loan. Pay this back at every 30 days at this rate. And that's how the world works. And the bank takes a little bit of a profit margin out of that to pay the rent on all their buildings and they share some of that profits with deposits. Cool. In DeFi, you can get a loan, but they do it differently. You put your crypto assets up as collateral. That's instead of your house. And you can borrow against these and just generate stable coins against those assets. And because there's no bank branch and no bank employees in this scenario, there's nowhere you don't need to pay it back every 30 days. You can just pay it back when you need to. It could be in 30 years. What's also interesting, where do those coins come from? There's no big bank to originate the loan. Instead, Aave, for example, has just this big bucket, and they say, hey, we need a Wikipedia army of people just putting money in the bucket so we can lend it out. And people like me and you and even funds will put stable coins into that bucket, so that if someone has collateral, they can borrow these stable coins. And, normally, and then I get fees based on the percentage of the bucket that I've contributed my stable coins to be. And typically those fees would have gone to that big bank originating the loan, but instead they go to me. And that's a pretty material amount of money. And that's where you see these higher APYs. It's a new kind of fee being captured by people in the market. No one ever gave you a chance to put your money to work that way. And it turns out there's a lot of financial companies that need this big pool of money, whether it's insurance companies, there's market makers, which any sort of centralized pool of capital, they sort of do the Wikipedia thing. Hey, who's got money? You all put it in. And you now are doing a job in our financial system that you weren't doing before, and you get paid for it. And it turns out those fees that normally went to these big companies are pretty big. That's why they want to be those companies. They get those fees. Now you can get those fees.
That's great. Thank you.
I have to go get at my door. That other delivery is here. Give me 2 seconds. I'm so sorry.
No worries. No worries.
All right. Appreciate you.
This is good stuff. So remember, guys, as you have questions in the chat, let us know. I'm seeing it. Oh, Jay, you have a question. Don't worry, we've got you. One of the questions is explaining what an APY is. That's a really good question. So when you're looking at that, as annual percentage yield, right? So what you're going to be doing. Great question about that. And as you're going to be going through this, remember, if you're new to crypto in general, if you're wondering, like we're talking about tokens, if you have any of those kind of questions as well, let us know in the chat. Welcome back. And this is good. Yeah. So we just had a question. We were explaining what an APY was. That was a great question. Good times. So some people are saying, I'm loving it. We also have Bill, okay, on D Live talking about this is great. Love the breakdown. This is great messaging. This is why we're here, man. Thank you so much.
APY is a daily compounded version of APR. Like if every day you're earning interest, what if like you get that interest every day in your account and then you compound it back and you earn interest on that? So it's higher.
Excellent. Yeah. That's good details. Thank you. Okay, so we have that, and this. Oh, go ahead. Keep going, please.
So then what's DeFi 2.0? Like, I guess the question I have for you, Doc, is, I don't know, like DeFi 2.0 is a very specific thing that refers to sort of like an evolution of how DeFi works. And I wonder, is that what you're referring to? Or were you just kind of asking about DeFi?
No, I think
like this is kind of like a pretty heady, I don't know, this is pretty wonky. Like this is a wonky DeFi topic. So like basically in DeFi, the way it kind of works, like when I was telling you, like there's these jobs to be done and you can put your capital to work. And protocols, you know, one thing that's interesting about you know, Web3, you know, you hear about Web3, Web2. I'll kind of describe this first. What makes Web3 companies differently is they're transparent, they're totally open. Here's our code, here's some dashboards. Like you can go to Dune Analytics. It's like the Wikipedia of blockchain dashboards. You know, at the insides of tech companies, every app, they have a million dashboards that assess the health of that app, how it's doing. Dune Analytics is like all those dashboards are external. We can see the health of every single app on the blockchain. It's very interesting. And so like the community knows, like they'll have all sorts of questions like how is this app doing? Where is it going? And like they can seem to get those answers through a lot of ways. That's like one thing that's different. Another thing that's different is like because of tokens, there's like all sorts of ways that users are incentivized as stakeholders. And like they get to sort of feel a part of the upside, like just by being there early, like, oh, I believe in this protocol, they can get the token. And like, all right, like just right there, like that's helpful. They bought the token, number go up. But like they can also, you know, hey, I use this thing. I wish this product was better. I'm going to scream about like how it could be better. Like I'm going to actually write a proposal and I'm going to vote on that. Hey, I'm going to discuss the proposal in the comment section. I'm going to vote on stuff. All this stuff matters. And like, there's ways like, hey, I'm going to be a liquidity provider and I'm going to help other people get access to this token. And I'm going to earn fees by doing that. And like, there's all these ways. And like, I'm going to stake my tokens. And just by staking, I'm going to earn revenue. And like, that takes my token out of the money supply. I'm going to go tell people about this project because like, I want my token to be worth more. I also believe it's a good project and blah, blah, blah. All these are things that like are different about Web3 companies. They like sort of foster a fandom around them. And that's pretty aligned as like investors and users and stakeholders of the actual protocol that are all interested in improving the protocol, making it a better business, and increasing the value of their tokens. And so what's going on here is protocols, these Web3 companies deputize users with tokens. It's very interesting. And so you can go around and you can see the ways that you can be deputized and you will earn that protocol's token. And those tokens are traded on markets like Uniswap and Sushi and other exchanges, and they're totally liquid. And like you can swap them into ETH, and like that they're just like stock. And like, you know, what's interesting about this type of stock though is it's digital stock. And when you reimagine like, hey, we know what stock does, and we have all these other ideas. Like if we were to redo what stock did, like we would make it more powerful. And so like these tokens are like an extension of the app, in the same way that like, you know how like you earn dividends with Apple stock like every quarter? What if you earned a dividend every time someone swiped a credit card and like they bought an Apple product? You earned, if you own 0.0001% of like Apple stock, like you earn 0.0001% of every transaction. And like that's kind of like what a lot of these crypto assets do. It's if you own sushi tokens and you stake them, like you can earn 0.25% of all the platform fees or something like that. And so DeFi 2.0 though specifically is like an evolution where when all these protocols launched, then one thing that was different about DeFi is, typically you had to wait for Coinbase to like list your token to get so people could buy it, or Binance would have to list it, or Kraken would have to list it. Well, what if you didn't want to wait for them to list it? Well, now there's exchanges like Uniswap, and so you could list your tokens on Uniswap. However, you need to sort of like you need to incentivize. You need more liquidity on those exchanges in order for people to buy the token and not have there be major price fluctuations. And so protocols would say, hey, we're going to reward people who go and provide liquidity. We see you on the blockchain. Like if we see you providing liquidity for our token early on, we're going to airdrop you tokens every day. And it's going to be at like this really high rate. And like, that's where people see like, oh my God, 1,600% APY. That's because like every protocol, has like this version of kind of like an IPO, but like it's at the beginning of the protocol called a liquidity mining event. And this is where they want to bootstrap their economy by incentivizing users to show up and provide liquidity and stake tokens and sort of like establish, sort of like ownership of this economy. And over time, like these incentives decline. And so this worked. And for like a whole year, everyone was like, wow, this is how DeFi works. And then Olympus DAO came out and they said, actually, like there's a lot of inefficiencies here and we want to correct that. And this is where DeFi 2.0 is. They say, instead of you incentivizing users to provide liquidity, you're the protocol. How about you be the liquidity provider? And what's cool about that is not only do you not have like if you're the liquidity provider, everyone that buys tokens buys them from you. So like you earn all the fees on all the swaps. You have this new huge revenue source that goes to the protocol. That's great. Another thing that's really great about being the liquidity provider is every user has to buy your tokens. They can't earn them. So when therefore they want their investment to go up. They're going to hold them for the long term. So you get this more aligned investor. This is what DeFi 2.0 is owning your own liquidity and then like deciding what to do with it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you very much. I'm seeing D over there saying, wow, this is great. I'm finally understanding what this means. Oh, this is good. Okay. Good stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Also, too, some people are talking about, okay, so I see some of the people are doing the sign for Wonderland and Hector DAO. Okay. So we got them over there.
I love Wonderland.
This is good. Oh, man. Some people like, I'm trying to do this. Starting to do it in saving up to do this. Okay, this is a lot of good stuff. Okay, so this is excellent. This is excellent. This is going in a good direction. Okay, so now that we've got that, I'm writing down notes and everything. And of course, guys, if you want the notes, of course, drop it. We'll be there and we'll talk about it. So showing up, providing liquidity for 2.0. Okay, that makes sense. What do you see this about? How is this? Who do you think this can affect? Like, we're talking about, why is this a big thing? Do you think a lot of people should be considering this as an option to also alternative to invest, or something that they can be having, be doing this, monthly or something like this? How do you view this being an impact on someone's portfolio? Could you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I'm not allowed. This is not investment advice.
Yeah.
I cannot give investment advice. But I can talk about how I see the world. And like how, I can talk about what I do with my money. Cause like, I also have a higher risk profile than most people. But I believe that it's not a crazy thought to go 100% of your like in the same way that like having most of your money in stocks, like FANG and like other blue chip stocks, like that seems like a completely reasonable thing to do, or including Vanguard. I think that crypto assets like owning ETH and Bitcoin and other kind of like other layer 1 and layer 2 tokens like is fine. And it's like, I think we have a once in a generational shift going on right now in technology. Crypto is growing 3 times faster than, or like it's growing faster than the internet. It's the fastest deploying technology ever because like if you think about where we are in history, like World War II happened and like mainframe companies came out of that. They established Silicon Valley. Decades later, desktop computer. A couple years, like a few more decades later, internet, then smartphone. Then we're all connected on these social apps. Like we're all connected on like, we're all like, not just on the internet, we're like using the crap out of it. And now we have crypto. And so these crypto applications feel just like apps. And how are we going to onboard? It's just going to be like, oh, hey, use this app. You know, you already use apps. Now click that button. We've never been more prepared as a society to click that button. And like, so this is going to get distributed very fast. And everyone I know in tech is moving. They're transitioning from Web 2 companies to Web 3. Everybody is. Every fund manager I know is redoing their legal on their funds so they can invest in Web 3 companies. Everyone is like following the path that I've never seen this before. So like something's happening. The earth is moving under us, and like users are using this stuff. Every chart that you want to see that like investors look for to invest in tech stuff, like, is this going to be a good app? Is this like a good place to park my money? We see those charts in like Ethereum, like number of new wallets, number of new transactions every day, GitHub commits, everything is exploding in the right direction. And we're seeing the flywheel spin, and like tons of funds have deployed lots of capital. There's a ton of funds that have just raised a ton more capital, and they're all deploying it. Like here, like, it's not going into nothing. Like people are going to go and they're going to go work and they're going to go build stuff. And so I don't know. And the stuff is real. It's not a big Ponzi scheme. It feels like it. I think it's kind of like people who criticize, who like kind of like crap all over DeFi or crypto are just like people who have like, I don't know, like there's people who've used VR and there are people who haven't. If you've used VR recently, you know that it's incredible. And like, you can imagine like, maybe like right now it might be nifty and gimmicky, but like, you can just imagine, wow, we're not that far off. This is different. Crypto's the same way. Like these apps are different. Like it's pretty amazing to just borrow against your own assets. And maybe that's a narrow use case, but it's pretty amazing to get it instantly. I don't need to apply. I don't need to go to the bank. I don't need to wait for the week. I don't need to wait a few days. I don't need to pay this back every 30 days. I just get it instantly. I can improve my life with that loan. That's pretty crazy.
Well, that's awesome. That's great to hear. And actually, this kind of transitions into a lot of people are asking about this, and we were talking about a little bit of this offline. But right before this, one of the biggest questions we had, and by the way, shout out to Lotus, the book club. We're looking at I Want This to Exist. All the people over there, Lee, Edmund, all those guys, thank you so much for, of course, dropping questions and supporting the show and all those things. Also, too, by the way, we want to say Erica, Nyota, all the regulars, thanks so much for being here as well and asking the questions. Remember, email, put it in the chat, wherever you're watching this from, go ahead. So this was one of the biggest ones with the release of Third Web yesterday, or at least when it went on Product Hunt, it won Product of the Day on December 13th. So a lot of people were wondering about Third Web, and that was voted on in the community where people want the most tutorials. So that's going to be coming out later this week. And so this kind of goes and talks about what is going to be possible and what people are really trying to do. So let's talk about Third Web. Is it all right? Do you want me to? Is it all right if you talk about it? Is that?
Yeah, we can talk about it. We can say anything about it.
Okay,
I will hype the crap out of this thing.
Okay, cool. So, you know, the thing that I noticed about it, first of all, one of my favorite hype videos that I saw about Third Web, and then I was like, man, that was really well done. And that's why I was like, okay, I got to check it out. I really like the promos and everything. And so I started experimenting with it, creating a marketplace NFTs and token last night. There was a couple things that I was like, man, this is something that makes it a lot easier. I was working and doing a lot of projects with Build Space. And then I was like, you know what? There's a lot of things where I'm working with Open Zeppelin and these open source contracts. This one makes it so much simpler when I'm doing plug and plays with these SDKs. I'm like, this is very interesting. So before I go down like the rabbit hole and like what we plan on doing, like in the like step-by-step and why we like this for their documentation tutorials, could you tell me a little bit about the company, the team, and why you're excited about this project?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So this company is made by, so one of my former co-founders, Furkan, he's like Tony Stark. Furkan was like, man, his career when he was like 16, he like had built a computer company, like where he would make awesome cases and sell them. He was a pro poker player. He built a company called AppLovin, which has had multiple IPOs, one in China, one in the US. It's the world's largest mobile ad network and largest mobile game publishing company. Like, boy, what a win to have under your belt. He was then our CTO at Monkey Inferno. So like we built tons of apps together. He built Bebo, our streaming app, incredible technology, and then did crazy stuff at Twitch. Now he's doing Third Web. His co-founder, Steve Bartlett, actually, he was at Monkey Inferno right before I got there. And he sort of pioneered like sort of social media distribution for like app installs. And he ended up building a really incredible social agency called Social Chain. And Social Chain, I like worked with them when I was at Twitch. They were incredible. They were one of the most fascinating storytelling companies. Their stuff, like I got pitches from lots of agencies at Twitch. These people were on another level. They were incredible. And Steve is inspiring. He's a really fascinating guy. He's worth following on Twitter and Instagram. And so he's like the sort of the visionary. And like, that's why the storytelling is so good. And so here we have an incredible developer, Furkan, very pro decentralization, wants to build great infrastructure for Web3. He loves Web3. He's so fascinated by crypto. And he's been in it for years. And then Steve Bartlett, incredible storyteller and leader. And also like just like a visionary around like the influencer economy, the two of them. And then like they're like, I'm investing in this. Like I wish, you know, I'm not Gary Vaynerchuk or Logan Paul or One Direction. So like, I guess that's why TechCrunch highlights them. But no, they have incredible investors that are going to like Mark Cuban that like, they're going to help. They're already like Third Web is getting distributed through like all their portfolios. And so you're going to see everybody in entertainment, from gaming to esports to K-pop to live music, movies. They're already every one of those industries is currently onboarding onto Third Web right now. And everyone has the same reaction. It's all just like, holy shit, this is like, this is going to help accelerate us. Cause like nobody knows how to code a smart contract. It takes time to learn Solidity and be fascinated by the blockchain. It's a journey. And if you want to go build a basic NFT project, like see in 6 to 9 months. And like, by the way, like you're going to be like, oh man, I just had this idea of a thing I need to add to my smart contract. Got to go back. Like you didn't like, you got to go rebuild the whole thing. So yeah. Do they run on AWS? I think so. I mean, I honestly, I don't know, probably.
Yeah. This is very interesting.
And what's also cool is you own their, like that. You're not like, they're not hosting your smart contract. You own it.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And remember, everyone, if you look at it, they just dropped on the 13th. I don't even know what day is it. Was that 2 days ago? I'm mixing my days. Okay, so that was 2 days ago on Product Hunt. Just dropped the link for Third Web. Check it out. And by the way, when you get started, they also, because you get early access if you apply all these things, they're giving access with an NFT when you're early to the access. And then also when you're in there, that's on Polygon. Once you're in there, you'll be able to do the demo exactly what you see on Product Hunt. So you'll be able to, number one, create that marketplace, be able to do things with tokens, and create your own NFT. So it's really interesting. And by the way, if anyone, you know, we already have our other channel, Web3 Prep. You have seen me for 3 months struggle when I was building with Build Space and going in with Open Zeppelin. Just like Jason was saying, how long it takes you to be building. This cuts down the time substantially. So if anyone saw those videos, that took me about 12 hours. I think I got it done in less than 90 minutes, and I had to go and get, I had to pick up some stuff because I was on Rinky Buy Network. But basically, it cut down my time substantially. So we'll be releasing videos and all that kind of stuff.
I think you'll see that people like it'll be very interesting to use this software over the long term. Furkan, about him as an entrepreneur, and like one reason why like I invested in this company, would always back him. He has the strongest bias towards action of any founder I've ever met. And every day they are going to add something to this, and they ship every day. This is going to be a fast moving product. Like, it's so cool that he's building this.
I'm interested with that. Also too, I saw, and I was in the Discord, but I've got to, in more detail, like you were saying, shipping. It's very interesting, talking about how it has the application or could be helping out DAOs, doing so many different things with governance. Very interesting conversations there. And just like you were saying, the expansion and what it could be doing. And by the way, thank you, Damien. Thank you so much. People coming in all over the place. Let us know where you're watching this from. And of course, so we got one stream over there. Hello, LCC. Thank you so much. Damien, thank you so much. And Manor, have you guys checked? I cannot.
Avagotchi.
Avagotchi.
Yeah. Avagotchi. It's like Tamagotchi, but with like DeFi IP.
Oh, I gotcha. Interesting. No, I haven't yet, man. But great to bring it up. Oh, by the way, Jamal watching from Pittsburgh. We got people from all over. So again, thank you so much for watching and joining in the conversation. Remember, if you have very specific questions, if you're thinking about this space, if you're thinking about what are you going to be building, either for your own project, understanding this, being a part of it, remember, like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, follow Jason. Check out everything that he's doing on Twitter. I'm going to drop his handle. We're not done yet, but make sure that you follow him. Great information, great topics, all of these things. Make sure you do that. I'm going to be dropping that in the chat in YouTube, but also for you on DLive, Twitch, all of you guys on Twitter. Thank you so much. So I wanted to say a couple things. I just switched over. This is my iMac. On my MacBook Pro, I have all my logins. I got to see if I can log in real quick. What I liked about this one is too, when using Third Web, to get started, everything was pretty standard and it felt good. The only thing that it was missing, and this was minimal, for ones that are just getting started in building, having the exact process of going to faucets, understanding what network for like Rinky Buy or test networks, that was the only thing. It was just in a different spot. But I mean, that's pretty minimal. With everything.
You should tell them that.
Cool. All right, I will.
They want to be as friendly to developers as possible. Cool. They want to hear all the feedback. They talk about everything.
All right. So videos coming out tomorrow. We're going to be definitely doing. Man, are you from the UK? Thank you so much. We got Dan. What browser are you using? That's a great question. I'm going to be dropping an affiliate link in a second. By the way, shout out to Edmund. This is Sidekick. I'm trying it out. This is a new one that I like it. It's I'm usually with Chrome, but Sidekick, it streamlines everything for me. So you can have your apps on one side, and then you can have your browser, and then like when you're having the tabs, it's just telling you what's happening. It's interesting. We'll see how it goes. But Dan, great question. Yeah. Thanks for noticing. Tell me a little bit about, okay, so that's happening. They're moving very quickly. I was wondering, when you're saying all of these new companies, and Mark Cuban was talking about tickets and different things, and 76ers just did something with their NFTs that they were talking about. How I see the application for ones that have a following and to be able to do that. If there's a creator that's just getting started, they don't have a following, do you think it would benefit them to still start early using this kind of technology, to start still, even though they don't have an audience and people are not demanding something of them like an NFT, do you still see them trying to at least getting familiarized with it for their brand, even though they're new?
Yeah, because, well, one, we don't even, NFTs and Web3 is going to reinvent the entire business model of what it means to be a creator. And part of that is going to be how big your audience even needs to be. And what does it mean to have an audience? And if you think about your NFT, as like a core, as an extension of your brand that works at all scales. So like when you find your first viewer, your first fan, like, and you have an opportunity to engage with your brand via this NFT, like that works. And like that could generate a transaction. And next thing you know, like you don't really need a big audience. I think NFTs are going to accelerate us to that 1,000 true fans world where it's not really about like having a lot of people because you like NFTs like allow for a more deeper connection with the brand. Like in this, like the way to think about NFTs is like they give you all the powers that a mobile game has to engage with their users. And like that's actually like really like there's a broad range of ways that mobile games engage with their users. They alert you to events. They give you access to other tiers of the game. They reward you with skins and other things that like enhance the experience and like allow for more self-expression. And like that's what you can do with your own fandom. And that fandom is a vibe that exists at any scale. And so you're going to scale that vibe and like there's a minimum size that you need for like your life to be fulfilled. And like you won't need to be bigger than that. And like you don't want to dilute that vibe because it feels so good. So I think that's where this is going. And so I think, yeah, you should start on day one. We don't understand what NFTs are for yet. We are at like that point in the app store where we just got apps and people are making fart buttons and like, here's an app, it's a lighter, and like a lighter goes on. That's where we're at right now. All the apps suck. You know, we're just learning how to walk. We don't get it. This is all very, very primitive.
That's good to know. Okay, so we're right at the beginning, and people watching this and trying to act, now you're seeing what's possible and being into this ecosystem or trying it out this early on. This is really good. By the way, Bika, thank you so much for being here. Great to have you here. And
NFTs are a fascinating thing that they allow you to tokenize any aspect of your fandom, of what it means to be a part of your fandom. And it puts that, because we're in crypto land, one of the cool properties of crypto is everything that's tokenized can go onto like an exchange, and it can go on a bonding curve, and it can be priced. We can know the price of any aspect of our culture. And I think a lot of us are going to be surprised at how much we value certain things. And like, it already blows our minds when we see like, really, Doge is worth that? Well, that's really just the price of this one joke. Like, wouldn't it be funny if this worthless, stupid coin was like worth something for real? Like, fuck the grown-ups. And like, and then people then go, yeah, haha. And then the price goes up and then everyone laughs. And like, so every time you tell the joke correctly, it goes up. And like, you know, crypto punks, like, can you believe like this is art? Can you believe that this is worth a lot? Haha. It like looks like 8-bit nostalgic millennial, like loving art. Like, man. And so like, I think memes, you know, people say like, is this narrative or is this fundamentals when analyzing like a business? But like, I think narrative is a fundamental, especially in Web3.
that's very interesting. I like that. That's going to be a clip right there. That was awesome. Yes. Oh, also too, people are asking, would you hold on, let's see, what is Dan asking? Dan's asking, would you think it's better to create your own project as a portfolio? I think he's talking about like, would you try to work for a Web3 company, or do you think just building your own community, trying out projects is better at this point? I think that's what he's asking.
Do both. I mean, you should be messing around in Web3. You should be messing around in DeFi, playing with NFTs. You should try to find NFTs that you're drawn to. Feel the feelings. Feel why you are drawn towards something. Let yourself get emotionally attached to the pull of tokens and incentives, and become self-aware of that and understand like, whoa, why do I feel that way? Why am I proud to be a user of this protocol? How like I'm deputized to like represent this protocol. Like, that's so interesting. And so or like, what am I looking forward to about this like, why do I care about owning this NFT? You want to get it so that way you can port over whatever that is to a fandom that you understand. Because like right now, everything is being built for like one fandom, and that's r/crypto on Reddit. It's really r/Ethereum. That's like all the NFTs are for r/Ethereum. Historic Ethereum NFTs, the aesthetics that like that group of people like, Ethereum OGs. Like, okay, but like there's a lot more people in the world than r/Ethereum, and they're gonna want collectible. Pardon me. They're gonna want profile picture collections and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, good times. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's talk about, and by the way, Banner, yes, I am on Discord. Hit me up. I'll have my link somewhere. Sorry, I just switched over to this computer, so I'll drop it over here. Sorry. But I got you, Banner. Either message me or just hit me up in the comment section. I'll put it at the pin it in this video. So good stuff. Yeah, we've got a Discord, all this kind of stuff. Real quick, and thank you so much for your time, by the way. This is awesome. And we don't want to, of course, go over time or anything like that. But we had a question about what are you excited about? You were talking about different passions, different things, what people are doing. Could you talk about 1 to 3 projects you're really excited about and tell us why? Tell the audience why you're excited about those, please.
Oh gosh. My excitement all goes through a lens of I'm very excited about Cosmos, that entire blockchain. There's one. I'm very excited about Luna. That's another blockchain. Or the Terra blockchain. I'm also very excited about. I'm excited about Wonderland and really everything that Daniel Essitas is involved in. So let's go through these. If you believe that we are in a world where we're now building apps for blockchains, blockchains are app development platforms. That's what Ethereum is. That's what Solana is. That's what in the chat I see. That's what Polygon is. These are platforms for building apps these apps use the blockchain to update, and they use all those cool properties. So then we must assume that as more industries come on board, from video games to healthcare to finance to whatever consumer stuff is going on with NFTs, video games, they're going to stretch these things to their limits. And so what we need is now an app specific blockchain. Hold on a second. The light. What we need is hold on.
No worries.
Laser. There we go.
It happens.
All right, cool. So what we need is with Cosmos, they have a SDK that is a fork of a block. You can fork Ethereum and modify it however you want. So you can, change the block sizes. You can change fees. You can add a stable coin. You can modify it however you want. And people are basically making app-specific blockchains. There's one called the Akash Network. They're a hosting service. There's Secret. They're like a privacy layer. And one by one, all these Cosmos blockchains are getting created. And each one is kind of like a Lego piece for a blockchain powered layer of software. And you can have the idea is this will power a fully decentralized stack. And so it's super interesting. And what's also interesting is they've created this thing called IBC, the inter-blockchain communication standard, which allows for data sharing between these blockchains and sending tokens across these blockchains. And so the cool thing about this is every time someone creates a new blockchain with Cosmos, it's already kind of inherently connected to all the other ones. And so there's this interesting network effect of every time there's a new blockchain that's useful, if someone were to make the Google Maps version of a blockchain, the map chain, everybody would be able to instantly use that in creating that's one more very useful Lego piece that we have. And so the more Cosmos blockchains are created, the more developers are oh, it's useful to build over here. We can use all these Cosmos blockchains. And therefore, the more apps are created, which brings more users in. As there's more users in, developers are oh, wow, look at all those users. Maybe we should be developing here. And then this will lead to more Cosmos blockchains. So that's very interesting. Terra is a Cosmos blockchain. Do Kwon is creating sort of he's on a project. He's a Vitalik figure, very charismatic founder. And he wanted to create basically a stable coin called UST. It's a basket of stable coins pegged to all the global currencies. And the idea is in order to create it, there's sort of a genius mechanism that helps this stable coin maintain its peg. I won't go into that right now. It's kind of complicated, but it's worth that's the thing to look into if you're fascinated by this. How does UST maintain its peg? And then he's created, using a fork of Ethereum on Cosmos, a better version of DeFi. It is the version of Ethereum that is geared towards building financial apps. So very low, like near zero fees, instant transactions. And the whole point is they have had like the Terra Foundation and in partnership with Delphi Digital, a top tier research research firm, fund, incubator. They've been incubating all these like protocols and like guiding them with UX help, a uniform design language, funding, guidance, tokenomics advising, so that they could all launch basically well understood and necessary projects that DeFi needs. And so it's basically, the way I look at this is, these are all like it's Ethereum DeFi with an extremely aggressive go-to-market plan. And the reason why like all of these protocols are designed to make UST very useful. These are all places for this stablecoin to be used, which kind of like is a key. It's a key point in the strategy for this big project, which kind of bootstraps the utility of the stablecoin. And like the reason why this is so interesting. Why is this interesting? One, it's got product market fit in East Asia. It's very exciting. 5% of Korea is already like using some version, like one of these dApps. The Luna token specifically is one of the most interesting investments in all of crypto. It is designed to go parabolic in price. And the more adoption that UST has, the better that Terra is at executing on that project, the more valuable Luna gets. And so really owning Luna tokens is a bet on two things. You're saying, one, I believe that the crazy tokenomics will work on Luna. And two, I am betting that that Do Kwon, who has shown that he is relentless, he ships a lot, he's like a leader of a cult, and like he is extremely aggressive, that he will make UST very useful and get it deployed everywhere. Okay, then 3, I think, what was the last one I said? Wonderland?
Yep.
Everything by Daniel Essitas. He's basically Wonderland. This is like a fork of Ohm on Avalanche. The founder of this also made Abracadabra.money, which is like MakerDAO, but it like their token is Magic Internet Money, the fastest growing stablecoin in the world. It's over collateralized. They've already passed DAI, I believe, in market cap. So is UST. UST passed DAI like 2 days ago. Yeah. So basically, Daniel is a really aggressive founder. I believe in founders that ship a lot, communicate with the community, and he seems to be really mission driven, and all of his protocols do really well. And so if he's forking Ohm and he wants to create basically a reserve currency for the metaverse, I think that's a really interesting project. And so this is one of those things that has like, 90,000% APY. I've been in this since day one. It's I think it's an interesting investment. Yep.
Love it. Listen, just knowledge, just dropping all this great stuff for us to take a look at. This is great. I'm seeing it in the chat, people. And by the way, this is interesting. This is a lot of first-time commenters about this subject as well. So thank you so much for commenting and being part of the discussion. We see people on YouTube. We see them in Twitch and Twitter. That is great stuff. People are talking all over the place.
Luna is my fund's largest position. So, yeah, someone in chat said Chai Pay is 5% of Korea is using it.
Goodness. And talk about Anchor. Interesting. I don't know that one.
Anchor is a savings protocol. You can earn 20% APY on stablecoins on Anchor. You can also borrow against ETH and Luna there.
Crazy. So many things can be done right now.
20%. Where the hell are you getting 20% on anything?
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, man. Yeah, I had no idea you did crypto. Yes, but you see it just a few things on this channel. The thing is, because the audience is so much into like no code here, the second channel is everything to do with Web3. What we're building with BuildSpace, we do all of the things with crypto over there. It's usually building or doing something with Web3 apps and learning into that world. So yeah, you'll see it only a guest star here on this main channel, but we're over there as well. So of course, I'll send you the link. I'll put it down in the chat. But that we keep the channel sometimes separated just because a lot of people are only here for no code, but we think this is a really important subject as well. And this is a bigger audience on this one. So that's why we have guest stars like Jason talking about these opportunities on this channel. But yes, I'll be dropping off all the links to our secondary channel as well. Good stuff. Good stuff. So real quick, let me make sure if anything where we're talking about if you like this kind of content, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel and let us know what you want to hear about. This is all about giving back for people to start capitalizing on what you want to do with your project, making your own community, doing this with your own projects. So before we let you out of here, Jason, we've got your handle on Twitter. What do you want the good people to do? Would you want them to try something out, talk to you, follow you on Twitter? What would you like the audience to do for you?
That's a good question. I mean, definitely follow me on Twitter. I'm awesome. I talk a lot about crypto stuff. If I don't know, I think that just everyone should go mess around with crypto. Go deposit onto like Haru Invest, see what it feels like to earn yield, and just go from there. Go get into a chat room with your friends and share your money moves with each other. Screenshot, hey, I just put X $1,000 here. I'm earning this many dollars a day. Like, copy each other's homework and then like set a goal. The only way to get excited is if you're making progress towards something. So you need to set a goal. Your goal should be some dream portfolio. It's however many ETH, however many Luna tokens, and then like, you buy in and like you're gonna earn yields and you're gonna compound that and you're gonna make progress towards your goal and you're gonna get excited as you make as like things happen that accelerate you to that goal. And you're gonna be like, wow, if I did that, like that got me there faster. I'm gonna do more of that. I'm gonna double down on that. You're gonna move things around. And then like that's a framework that'll help you get excited about crypto. Ooh, wow, there's so much going on in the world. But that right there is gonna get me to my goal faster. I'm gonna learn more about that. At least you have one way to think about things instead of like, oh my God, everything, must learn about everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it can be really overwhelming. And I know we were having this conversation and it's been a great help and understanding this and moving forward. This is great stuff. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
And I guess I would say if you have a lot of money and you are looking for someone to help you out, I'm launching a fund in January. Feel free to chat with me.
There we go. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Great stuff. Pixel Max talking about educational tips and tools around crypto. It's going to definitely be coming your way. Stay tuned. Make sure you keep watching the channel, all of those things. And one moment, I'll just come over real quick and get the other channel's name and then drop it in the chat as well. Remember, that one is all of our experimental and you'll see where we're doing weekly shows, breakdowns of what we're going to be using in crypto. Sometimes we bring it over to this channel, but for the majority, we're either talking about what we're doing, building smart contracts, or what we're doing like testing out Third Web. And definitely we're going to have more content about that. Some here, but mainly on the other channel. So I'm sending you that one over there. That's great. So great stuff, everybody. Remember, go follow Jason. Make sure that you give him a shout out. Tell him what you liked about the program, more of those things, all of those things. All right, everybody. So remember, we're going to be back. We do this every single week. Every single Wednesday, we're coming back with tips. We talk about tutorials, what you need to be doing, building your own brand, your own community. And if you like it, and it sounds like in this chat today, if you want more on this channel, check it out. And everything exclusively with crypto, what we're building in real time, check out the other channel. We're going to be going there. Of course, Jason, we're going to say goodbye, but of course, we're offline. We'll just do a wrap up for about 3 minutes or something like that. But all the good people at home, again, thank you so much for watching, being here at a special time tonight. You came in, did great things. So everyone else, we will see all of you next Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone, have a wonderful evening.